Hi, today I wanted to talk about a subject that I've talked about many times on these videos, and that is seller concessions. Seller concessions are where the buyer goes in, makes an offer on the property, and typically will ask for maybe anywhere from 2 to 3% for the seller to contribute towards the buyer's closing costs and prepaids. This typically allows me to cover all of their closing costs and sometimes even be able to buy down the rate just a little bit. However, one thing that I've noticed of late, and in fact, there was an article on it recently here in the Arizona Republic, where what's happening is after years and years of kind of a seller's market where the sellers were firmly in the driver's seat, demanding higher prices, not wanting to do these concessions, not wanting to make repairs, etc. And over the past 6 to 8 months, something like that, we've seen a shift from a more of a seller's market into at least a balanced market, and in some areas here in the Phoenix metro area, even a buyer's market. And so that's been very beneficial for buyers because, again, these concessions are something now that is happening on a somewhat regular basis. However, in this article, they pointed out that what is starting to happen now is buyers are getting a little bit drunk with power, if you will. And not only are they asking for concessions towards closing costs, they're asking to reduce the sales price. They're asking for the seller to replace roofs and replace air conditioning units. And I'm surprised they're not asking them to build a swimming pool. And what I mean by that is it just seems like they're pushing a little bit too hard on some of these things. And so sellers are now reacting to that and just saying, no, enough is enough. And in fact, many sellers are considering even taking their home off the market because of some of these overly aggressive offers that they've received maybe. So a word of caution, if you're looking to purchase, obviously you want to get the best deal you possibly can, but it has been my experience over the past 30 years or so, when you're negotiating with a seller on something like this, it's usually very beneficial. Now, of course, this is assuming it's priced correctly, but it's very beneficial to go in at a full asking price, then ask for those 2 to 3% in closing costs. And depending upon the loan type, sometimes you can even ask for more concessions. Depending upon the type of loan and your down payment and what have you, you certainly can call in and get more information on that. But my point being that you also have to be mindful of the fact that in some cases, these sellers don't have to sell. And so if you push too hard, what could potentially end up happening is they just won't even accept your offer, pull their house off the market. And ultimately that ends up being bad for the overall market because right now what's making it beneficial for buyers is there are more homes on the market, there are more options, there's more choices, and it's creating these sellers to negotiate somewhat, but just don't feel like you're going to be able to take them for every last penny that they have. So again, I just want to share that information. Take it for what it's worth. Again, please know I am in favor of you getting the best deal you possibly can. Work with a professional real estate agent that's going to be able to negotiate for you effectively. That's my best advice with some of this versus, like I said, trying to just get everything from the seller. And sometimes you can push it too far and now all of a sudden they don't want to work with you and you could potentially lose out on the house that you really like and really can see yourself moving into. Listen, I hope you found this information helpful, and if you did, please do me a favor and subscribe to our page here. Additionally, if you know of any buyers that are out there looking, any friends that are buying, I should say, feel free to share it with them. Make sure that they get the message as well, that it's okay to ask for concessions. It's okay to negotiate a little bit on the price and even on some of the repairs, but you have to be mindful of not going too far. And I realize that that may be easier said than done, but again, take that for what it's worth. If you'd like some more information on getting qualified, how you might be able to get into a home and participate in this market, feel free to give me a call, text. We're here all the time to answer your questions, help you navigate some of these negotiations, and figure out what might be best for you and your family. So thank you so much. Appreciate you listening. Have a great day. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.